Okay, this set of notes is about equilibrium, work, and free energy. So taking some of the ideas that we learned from the POGL yesterday and expanding on those a bit. There is a set of notes for you in Schoology that you can use or use your own. You know the drill. All right, so first reminder here is that as we talk about how reactions happen, there's always two big camps that we put things into. One is kinetics, which we learned last unit, so talk about mechanisms and rates. And the other one is thermodynamics, okay, which is if a reaction happens, as well as what is the state of energy at the beginning, at the end. So things that fall underneath thermodynamics is equilibrium, okay? What's the equilibrium position at the beginning and at the end? Enthalpy, what is the overall heat transfer that happens during the process from the beginning to the end? The delta H. Spontaneity, is the process thermodynamically favorable? Okay, that's delta G. And of course, delta S, the entropy, also falls underneath thermodynamics. All right, so a couple things here. First of all, when we talk about equilibrium now, we actually have two different definitions that we can use for equilibrium. One is our standard equilibrium definition, which is when the forward and the reverse reaction rates are equal. In other words, when Q equals K is a way for us to talk about that. And again, the forward rate and the reverse rate are the exact same. Okay. Second definition of equilibrium we have is a situation where the free energy in a reaction system is at a minimum. In other words, delta G equals 0. Okay. If something is at equilibrium, that will be the case. If something is not at equilibrium, it will move back toward either those forward and reverse reaction rates being equal or towards delta G being equal to 0. Okay, we saw this yesterday in the POGL, right? If Q was greater than K, we went back toward equilibrium. If K was less than Q, we went back toward equilibrium. Those were both spontaneous or thermodynamically favorable. All right, and so in both situations, we would once again have a situation where delta G equals 0 is where they end up, less free energy. Okay. So if we then take those definitions of equilibrium and we interpret them a little bit, that then means that if delta G is negative, the forward reaction is thermodynamically favored. Okay, so over here we have delta G is negative. If delta G is positive, the reverse reaction is thermodynamically favored. Okay. These equate with the situations where Q is less than K and Q is greater than K, which then leaves us with the last situation, which is if delta G is 0, the system is at equilibrium, which is also the situation that we have if Q equals K. Thus, what we've come up with then is an idea that relates equilibrium and free energy to one another. Okay? And if we take that then and we start manipulating some equations and come up with a quantitative expression of this relationship, we can find out that we can find the delta G for any reaction under non-standard conditions using this relationship. Delta G equals delta G standard plus RT ln Q. Okay. At standard conditions, all the pressures and concentrations become 1, either 1 molar or 1 atmosphere. And so as a result of that, in an equilibrium expression, Q is going to end up being 1. Again, that says 0 in your notes. Please make sure you change that. So Q equals 1. And if we then take the natural log of Q for the expression, that natural log of 1 is 0, so that makes this entire term 0. So that would make sense. At standard conditions, delta G equals delta G standard. Okay. But if we're not at standard conditions, if we're at equilibrium, then Q equals K and delta G equals 0 by our definitions of equilibrium. So delta G, we can then sub in, make that 0. Q, we can sub that in and make that K. So that gives us 0 equals delta G standard plus RT ln K. If I rearrange that for delta G, we get delta G equals negative RT ln K. This equation is on our pink sheet. Okay? So then if I go ahead and I rearrange this, right? So it becomes ln k equals delta G naught over negative RT, okay? If we have that situation then, we can take the exponent of both sides and you get k equals e to the negative delta G over RT, okay? Which is the other expression of this equation. This then allows us to figure out the equilibrium constant from if we know the free amount of free energy available as well as the RT. Since delta G is a thermodynamic property, in this particular case, we're going to be using the form of R, which is 8.314 joules per mole Kelvin. All right, so the last piece of this then, if we go ahead and we relate free energy to work, we know that work is one of the ways that energy is transferred. Delta G is free energy, okay? So that's the energy that's available to transfer. So delta G then represents the maximum amount of work that could be done by a process. That's what you need to know about equilibrium, free energy, and work.